Good evening, everyone. The meeting of the Planning Commission will come to order. Please rise and follow. Would Commissioner Ortiz please lead us in the pledge?
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the Deputy City Clerk please call roll?
Yes, Commissioner Uva,
Present.
Commissioner Duarte,
Present.
Vice Chair Ortiz,
Present.
and Chair Owens.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. This is the time set aside for oral communications from the Planning Commission. Does any commissioner wish to make an announcement or report on a conference or meeting or request items for a future agenda? Commissioner Ortiz?
I have none.
Commissioner Uva?
I have none.
Mr. Duarte?
None for me also.
And I have none. Thank you. Does the interim community development director have any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Thank you. And is that our title? We're still going? Okay. Does the interim community development director have any presentations?
No presentations tonight.
Thank you. Does the interim community development director have a report on city council actions?
No actions to report.
Thank you. Now is the time set aside for public hearing for site plan review, conditional use permit, and zone change application PLN-22-00013. Does the deputy city clerk have proof of publication?
Yes, I do, Chair.
Thank you. Will the interim community development director introduce staff making this presentation?
The presentation will be given by our principal planner, Guillermo Arriola.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. Before you is application PLN 22-00013, a conditional use permit, site plan review, and zone change application for the property located at 10000 Paramount Boulevard. The application includes a request to convert the existing commercial building into a sit-down restaurant with outdoor seating, facade and landscape improvements, approval of a Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control Type 47 license, and a zone change for the rear portion of the lot from parking buffer to C2 general commercial. The property is located on the east side of Paramount Boulevard, just north of Florence Avenue. Properties surrounding the site, vacant lot to the north, Bank of America to the south, commercial properties to the west across Paramount Boulevard, and residential properties to the east. And again, as mentioned before, the property is zoned C2 and parking buffer. And this is what the building currently looks like right now. The improvements will include a 15-foot landscape setback between the building and the front property line. Will include a 10-foot setback along the rear landscape with trees and shrubs, some additional landscaping in the center portion of the lot, and will include a wooden trellis patio cover in front of the building, covering a portion of the outdoor seating area. The interior of the building will be remodeled to include a 400 square foot seating area with a countertop and foldable windows to create like an open air design. The remaining 1,342 square feet of the building will be dedicated to back of house facilities, including 2 restrooms. The plans indicate that the outdoor seating area will be enclosed with a wooden planter boxes. As with all projects that have outdoor seating, the project has been conditioned to include either a masonry block wall, 42 inches high, or a 42-inch high masonry block columns and wrought iron design reinforced, or bollards within the landscaped area. Again, a condition of approval has been added to the resolution. The building will include new paint, excuse me, removal of, I'll go back real quick so you can take a look at what the existing building looks like. So kind of an outdated design. The improvements will include the new wooden trellis that will replace the canopy in front of the existing building, a new paint scheme, black pearl mansard roof, red pearl columns, removal of the old rock facade along the front, replacement with brick veneer, and a concrete finish along the rest of the building. The proposed hours of operation will be Sunday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., and Thursday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. The request also includes approval of an ABC Type 47 license, which allows the sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits for consumption on the licensed premises. So the application includes a zone change as well, as mentioned before. The rear 152 feet of the lot is zone parking buffer. The original intent of the parking buffer zone was to create separation between commercial uses and residential uses. In 2008, the parking buffer zone was eliminated because the goals of providing separation between commercial and residential uses were accomplished with setbacks and variable height requirements. However, the zoning map still maintained the parking buffer zone. The change from parking buffer to C2 is consistent with the general plan, which is designate that area as general commercial, and results in a single zoning designation of C2 for the entire lot. The DRC reviewed the project and and there was no objections, no concerns regarding the proposed use. Standard conditions of approval were issued. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Does any commissioner have questions of staff? Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
No questions.
Commissioner Duarte?
I have no question.
I have one. So if you would go back, I think it's the second slide, and it shows the building as it is, and it shows the ingress and egress on that site. And then just to the left, that red rolled curb, how prominent is that? Is that an 8-inch curb? Is that a,
I believe it's 6 inches.
so you can drive over it? You could drive over 8-inch too, but.
Yes.
And it's there for what, I mean, it's not part of his property or the applicant's property, but what's the purpose of that? Does that ever go away or?
It was probably just there to delineate the lots, you know.
All right, okay. And then this secondary question to that, on the parking buffer designation, is it your opinion we just deal with it each time it comes in an application like this and not look at it overall citywide and just wipe it out once and for all? What do you think?
If I may jump in on that one, the practice has been to address these as we're going with each individual lot, simply because to address it as a whole, there's a lot more that goes in if we run across any inconsistencies. It is on our plan, however, because of the housing element update, there's going to be a lot of amendments that are going to be needed as part of that. So during that effort, we're going to do a lot of cleanup with regard to the parking buffer as well.
Great, thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, if I may add one more thing, there is a revision to Section 5 of the resolution, and I'd like to read it into the record, if I may.
Sure. Please.
And I'll just read Section 5 because it's kind of in the middle. So the change to Section 5 is based upon the findings set forth in Sections 1 through 4 of this resolution. The Planning Commission of the City of Downey hereby approves the site plan review and conditional use permits subject to this resolution only being effective unless and upon the City Council's adoption of an ordinance effectuating a zone change of the subject property from parking buffer to C2. And said zone change is effective and final pursuant to state and local law. And further, with this resolution to be subject to the conditions of approval attached hereto as Exhibit A, conditions which are necessary to preserve the health, safety, and general welfare of the community and enable the Planning Commission to make the findings set forth in the previous sections. The conditions are fair and reasonable to accomplish the accomplishment of these purposes. It's just a clarification, and We just want to make sure that the zone change is approved by the city council
Got
before
it.
this
Thank
becomes
you.
effective.
Okay. Any questions on that, Commission? All right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for the planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions that the commissioners may have had about the project. Commissioner Ortiz.
I have none, Chair.
Commissioner Uva.
I did drive by the site today.
Commissioner Duarte.
None for me.
And none for me. I'm familiar with, we all drive by that, sure. Okay, thank you. The public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Hi, everybody. My name is Jason Moreno from the Chicken Coop. It's a small mom and pop location. We have 5 different locations, and hopefully Downey's going to be the 5th one. And we have roasted chicken, and we focus on our food with alcohol attributing to the meals. Any questions I can answer?
Okay. Questions? Commissioner Ortiz.
I have none. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Commissioner Uva.
It is.
I have none as well.
Commissioner Duarte.
No, I've visited the Whittier location, so
Yes.
a little familiar with it. Overall, yeah, I think it's a great concept.
Thank you.
So style-wise, Mediterranean.
It's a fusion of a whole bunch of different flavors.
Gotcha.
That
Okay.
we came up with ourselves.
And I'll ask my Epicurean expert here. He'll fill me in. You like it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hopefully soon you can try it yourself.
Great, thank you. That's all we have.
Thank you.
Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
Mr. Chairman, there has been none.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of this application?
Mike Greenspan, the Jew who won't go back to Florida, you anti-Semitic, anti-Christ Catholics. Now, I saw the picture of the previous use. What an eyesore. I mean, curb appeal is the complete opposite of whatever it was before. I mean, the artist's rendering has more curb appeal than that picture. And a picture being worth 1,000 words, well, the curb appeal sucked in that picture. So anything could be better. I hope it's not one of your Ojos Locos type of places, the Boobs and Beaver Bar, that's where the Denny's used to be. Oh, wait, didn't you guys approve it, or your commission approve that one too? I sure hope you have a better sense of things for this. And we got a different city attorney now from when they did the Boobs and Beaver place, the old Denny's. But, of course, there are scab lawyers. We need, we had Labor Day a couple days ago, but our lawyers are not in the union. They're scabs. No matter if it was Cunty Vet or, who is it, Langer who up here. So we need to work on the lawyers, and of course the mayor is a scab lawyer also. Now you guys, I hope that we don't have over drinking. I hope we don't have a bunch of DUIs coming out of the place. And one thing I do want to talk about is the parking buffer. If this thing became obsolete in 2008, we're in 2022. How come it takes 14 years for the fucking council to actually do something? I mean, 14 years. Couldn't they have just blanket, starting with the vacant places, and make it commercial general? Then if somebody wanted to do residential, you would come and have a hearing and change it to that. I mean, 14 years you're hanging on a zoning that doesn't exist. I really question the wisdom of that. But then, what do you expect in this town? What do you expect? You guys are appointed by city council members, some of which are atrocious. I mean, Sean was a failure. He was with that Association of Independent Cities, and on his board stood a guy with sexual harassment. It cost its taxpayers $75,000 in LA. A guy named John Lee, or Englander Jr., and we know where Englander went, to prison. Thank you, and fuck you.
Good evening. I would just like to commend everybody that went ahead and considered this location for this place of business. It looks like there was some forethought that went into it. There were some considerations that we haven't had in quite a while. I think that converting that church to a restaurant is fine. You may have problems with the adjacent property and that property line marker there. If there's going to be any issues there, I don't think you can lay it at the feet of the owner of the restaurant if things spill over into that adjacent parking lot there. And I don't know if you want the people in the restaurant to use that as parking also, because it's not their property. But it appears they went ahead and they've been thoughtful in what they're doing. And I think they should be commended for it, and they should be given the opportunity to run their business, make money, provide a service, provide food for the residents. Residents can go to a restaurant at a reasonable price, et cetera, et cetera. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not just a family restaurant that's going to stay open till 2 in the morning. So we're going to have to watch some of these things. There's no doubt about it. But you can't lay everything at the feet of the owner on that. Customers do whatever they do sometimes, and you can't help that. But what we need is maturity from the Planning Commission and our City Council, which we're not getting any maturity at all from them. We need mature, reasonable people on the Planning Commission that issues permits in reasonable situations that can benefit the residents and the business owner as well. An example of where it's not happening is Tacos Don Goyos over on Manzanar and Meldar. Whoever issued those permits did not consider any concerns of the residents. It is a total mess over there, and you are complicit in creating the public nuisance that is going on with that Tacos Don Goyos, not only with the residents, but with the business right next door to it as well. He can't stand what's going on over there. Also with the grotesque expansion of the Ola Resto Bar, the expansion doesn't fit. You have to have parking, valet parking. He has no parking over there. He only had designed for 1 handicap parking and 58 security cameras for a sit-down family restaurant. We know better than that. We want maturity from the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Some of these developers, some of these developments, I suspect, are greedy fat fuck Jews who usually eat pork and drive on Saturdays, moo, 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 for the record. Hey, it's on. Everyone knows this song. Ain't it a shame that you cannot say fuck? Fuck? It's just a word. Moo, moo, moo. So I like chicken, and I'm here in support of the restaurant. Why? Because I like drinking and eating food. But I'm not a dumb fucking sheriff in a SWAT to get in a public vehicle and get a DUI. That's how fucked up the sheriffs are. No better, no different than a white motherfucker attitude like me, a nigger. However, I'm here to talk about the conditions for the PL number 220013 site. You know, it looks good. It stands out. But you know what? Usually a business, a restaurant, if they're lucky, they run a good 5 years good, depending on who likes chicken or who likes pork or who likes cows. Moo, moo, moo. However, I'm a fucking Jew. I'll eat anything. Even if it bleeds and pisses all over my fucking house, I'll eat it. So the idea here is that we need to allow this type of 47 ABC license because that's what's going to make this business profitable. And it's going to sustain them to hold out there maybe 10 years if he's lucky. So liquor always goes good with food. The same as liquor for women is not the same as poker for men because we got a full deck. And we play cards hard. Ace wild. Jokers laugh at the end. But in addition to that, due to the coalition of mayors and Father Khan under pornography, hey, let's do something like Livewire. Let's go on Livewire and talk about the new restaurant and support. Fuck the church. Fuck the Baptists. Fuck the Catholics. Fuck the assholes that rape boys. But let's support a new restaurant. It's time for change. And change comes with plans. Fuck Senate Bill 1383. Fuck LA. Fuck Santa Monica. Fuck El Segundo. And better, fuck the cunt Judge Andrew Napolitano, the Brooklyn law asshole, who says Donald Trump is a terrorist. No, America is doomed. We all are terrorists. Thank you. Here's for the record, sir.
Does the applicant care for any rebuttal time? They're in favor of us. Thank you. Public hearing is now closed. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the attached resolution recommending approval of the zone change to the City Council and adopt resolution approving the conditional use permit and site plan review, allowing for the improvements to the site as amended.
Thank you. At this time, it's time for the Planning Commission to deliberate. Any comment, Commissioner Ortiz?
I think it's a great concept. I hope we're on the same page. I think it's going to be a great addition to the city. Thank you.
And Commissioner Uva, comment.
Similar comments. I think it's a great improvement. It's going to make that whole little section look so much better. Good luck to you. Best of luck.
And Commissioner Duarte?
Same, the renderings look great. I already know the food tastes great, so I welcome the addition.
I as well. I think that's been real void of any, prominent or any really standout business. It's just nothing there. You're going to add that's something that I think will draw tremendously. So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
A motion to pass PLN-22-00013 as amended.
Second.
So we have a motion and second. Madam Secretary, could we please take a vote?
Okay, thank you. The motion passes 4-0 to approve PLN 22-00013 for a site plan review, conditional use permit, and zone change application as amended. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to remind the applicant at this time that the action of the Planning Commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the City Council with the appropriate fee within the next 15-day period as set forth in the city's municipal code. At this time on the agenda is the non-agenda public comment. This portion of the agenda provides an opportunity for the public to address the Planning Commission on non-agenda, consent, and other business items within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission and not listed on the agenda. It is requested but not required that you state your name, address, and subject matter upon which you wish to speak. Please limit your comments for non-agenda item to no more than 4 minutes. Pursuant to the Brown Act, no discussion or action other than a brief response referral to the city planning staff, or schedule for a subsequent agenda shall be taken by the planning commission on any issue brought forth under this section. First speaker, please.
Oh, yeah. Let me read into the record from Senate Bill 1100, 1400 K Street, Suite 400, Sacramento, California, 95814. And I suggest all of you call in at 916-658-8200 and tell Gavin Newsom, the faggot, and those other two Democratic bitches, get the fuck out of our censorship business. We, the people, control the Brown Act. We, the people, demand to be heard, and we refuse, and we will rebuttal every fucking incident on your bullshit warnings and your fucking toss-outs. So you want to be like Los Angeles, 42 U.S.C. 1983, real politely, fuck you. So here on 11111 Brookshire Avenue, Downey, California, I'm submitting into the record United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. Your report number was 183397 MWL, for the record, regarding the Sheriff Department. It helps us to understand emerging trends and topics. So my letter wasn't denied. What the letter is saying is that due to the actions of the Department of Justice, that they have thousands, and especially right now what's going on with that bullshit about Trump, they got thousands of shit to hear. So that's why they're putting me to the side on this issue. But the key issue here, it helps us understand emerging trends and topics. Like you heard in my presentations, why LAPD cadets get fucked by policemen, and why the sheriffs get caught in DUIs, and why the sheriff from San Francisco is on the run. Interesting, huh? How do I know this shit? How do I know these facts? Because they're based on reality. They're based on reality. Niggas want to know why. And I said it clearly earlier when I said, hey, it's on everyone to know this song. Ain't it a shame that you cannot say fuck? Fuck here? Fuck there? They're just words. And that's the reason why we're all fucked up. So that's my argument. And in the First Amendment, if you want to challenge me on the adventures of Huckleberry Finn, I'm going to quote a line. Motherfucker, and we reckon the niggas stole it. Right here. Niggers like that fucking stupid governor, Gavin Newsom, and those two fucking runt Democratic assholes. Now into the song. I don't care about Monday. Monday's gray for all we know. Tuesday red and Wednesday to replace Thursday. I don't know. But we don't care about you. It's Friday here in Downey. We're gonna go get some chicken. We're gonna go get some fucking beer. We're gonna shout, shout. We love our food here on Downey on Saturday. Stay and wait till Sunday comes. Fuck the church, we're going back to Downey, it's okay. Fuck, I don't care if it's Friday, I'm in love, and so are you. Come to Downey so we can party hardy on. Thank you to The Cure, and let's cure all the problems in Downey. 42 U.S.C. 1983, fuck you. Sorry about the language, sir. I just wanted to intensify my point.
Okay, intensifying the point. Well, let's lower the temperature a little bit. Just want to say congratulations to the new restaurant. Congratulations to the Planning Commission. Doing something that the residents really feel is mature and right to do. It was a reasonable proposition. They have parking, they have bathrooms, they want to do some improvements. Not a thing wrong with that. Not a thing wrong with that. They're going to have problems probably with the adjacent parking lot, but Bank of America closed down. You know, they said screw the customers, so they left. We're looking for people to make mature decisions. We're not getting it at the city council at all. We have a mayor that has the maturity of a 6-year-old girl. She can't make a decision on her own at all. She has to have it scripted by whoever's writing her scripts or whatever the Democrat Party provides for her. She is a marionette on the Democrat Party plantation. That's what she is. She cannot make a decision on her own. However, running for the assembly, we're looking for somebody with maturity. And unfortunately, it's not Blanca Pacheco. It is the redheaded Mexican guy named Raul Ortiz, the only real conservative in the race. Of the 9 that we're running, he is the only one that has reasonable, sound policies to follow. He is for reducing taxes. He is for rolling back regulations for businesses. He is for overturning Proposition 47 and not letting the criminals back out on the street. He's for letting parents run their children's lives and what their education is all about. They're not domestic terrorists. We have somebody who's mature. He's a man. He's a real man. He understands he's a father. He understands he's a husband. He has a wife, a real wife, who understands she is a wife, she is a mother, and they are reasonable people. And that's what we need to start having, not just here, but in Sacramento as well. The place is a mess. We have to trust the city council to handle our water. They can't be trusted to handle our water. The Democrats can't even provide electricity and water now. You can't do it. You can't run anything. I always say, if you ran the Sahara Desert, there would be a shortage of sand within 6 months. And that's true. It's true. Look at what's going on in Europe. They're cutting off the energy. They're cutting it off. We had the biomedical emergency. That was the vaccines and the lockdowns with the mask. Mass formation, that's what that's called. Now they're turning off the energy. You can't drive a gasoline-powered car. But wind and solar don't provide enough energy to run this state. It runs us back to the 16th century. If you want to live like that in European feudalism, go ahead. We're heading to poverty fast. Fossil fuels is the only way to go. So we need mature people in our councils. We need mature people in our assemblies. We need good, sound decisions, and we're not getting them from our council. Raul Ortiz is mature and understands all those situations about raising children. Blanca Pacheco has no idea what it's like to be a woman of XX chromosome or to have children. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the consent calendar. Seeing nothing.
Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I know I'm not the most popular,
But you didn't line up. That's why I missed you from the
I
wing.
had to have a seat.
Please.
Mike Greenspan, and yes, I'm staying here. I'm not going back to Florida, although I was ordered by an anti-Semitic, anti-Christ Catholic from Burbank. Maybe our interim city attorney Snow White ought to go back to Burbank. Yes, the one who replaced the incompetent city attorney, or not city attorney, excuse me, the incompetent city manager that we had. Old Gilbert Levas, well, part of that UCLA club. I forgot to ask the applicants. They're serving chicken of all types. Are they going to be serving the UCLA chicken? Bawk, 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 bawk. Because they're chicken to go to the swamp and play the Gators with their $103 million athletic department deficit. Yeah, that's right. We're throwing money at the zoo. But meanwhile, if you were to take an economics course, the UCLA athletic department would have already passed its shutdown point. It's economics 1 or 2. And of course, you can't take it to anyone with the city council because that cunt Blanca is UCLA. Will she solve it over there in Sacramento? Hell no, she'll make it worse. And who pays for it? We do. If it were USC, they would just up the tuition, they would up the prices of the parking, the football tickets, and everything else. But they would be smart enough, unlike the public schools, not to get in a $103 million deficit. So they're going to get bailed out by joining a bigger conference, exiting their cupcake conference. After all, they will then become the conference pussies of the Big Ten, the beat-up team. You don't have to get teachers' colleges or Middle Northwest Ohio University or some other place like that, or Georgia Southern to play. Just play UCLA. It's a win before the kickoff. And of course, this meeting, just like every city council meeting, is conducted by scab lawyers. I like to emphasize that, especially during the Labor Day week. After all, if you can unionize Starbucks, we can unionize those lawyers. This is not the only scab lawyer, and Mario is not the only scab lawyer, and Cunt Blanca is not the only scab lawyer. The law firm that gives her the work, the Olmo firm, Olivares, they're scab lawyers. They're the official firm of El Monte. And guess who went over there from Downey to El Monte? And Mr. Herman saw her, Cunt Blanca, to get some legal work from Olivares. Now, what's the old saying? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And his daddy was a big-time muckety-muck, and that's how he gets the business. And because of him, he's got his stepmother is that cunt Lucille Roybal Allard. So competence be damned. You get politics. You get somebody who knows somebody, doesn't know anything legally, but his daddy is a big-time lawyer and paved the way for his incompetence and his name. Now, remember, this is the same planning commission that gave us Ojos Locos, that boobs and beaver bar. I just hope the chicken place doesn't become a boobs and beaver bar.
Next on the agenda is the consent calendar. Seeing nothing on the consent calendar, I'll move on to the question, does the interim community development director have any additional comments?
No comments tonight.
Thank you. At this time, we're adjourned.